Hello YouTube, this is Jasmine, and this video is concerning the responses that I received on my last video, which was entitled the Obama State of the Union Address. And some of the comments I received, I was not happy. Basically, I didn't know how to respond to them. I wasn't sure if the authors of those comments were trying to be facetious or if they were just trying to be hurtful. But one thing I have to set straight, I didn't know how to approach answering them, so I decided to do it in video format so everybody can get exactly where I'm coming from. First of all, if you have differing views from me in terms of what's going on politically here in the United States, I am not opposed to hearing them. In fact, I welcome them. I'm not married to my beliefs. I do have strong beliefs, but it doesn't mean that I'm not open to hearing other point of view. That's the whole thing about learning and growing and pretty much trying to learn how to appreciate other people's perspectives. That is something this country has not seemed to grasp hold of. They say it, but they don't really do it. And we all know what that means. So, with that said, I will address some of the issues. I was told that either am I a communist or a socialist, and do I support a socialist regime? You know, people accusing Obama as being a socialist, and they're trying to say that I'm one too. And they're attacking me based on some of the comments I made, talking about, you know, how I didn't like, you know, stating the Pledge of Allegiance and all that different things coming up. These people don't know me. They don't know where I'm from. They don't know what my life entailed before YouTube. They still don't. So it's kind of hard to understand how they can make these sweeping generalizations about me based on my response to the State of the Union address. We have to understand that, number one, Obama is the president, as we know, and we live in a government of limited powers. I'm going to give you all a civics lesson real quick. Because the government is of limited powers, that means each branch of government shares the responsibility of governing the people. The executive branch, believe it or not, does not have a lot of power. I think most of the power is vested in Congress. They have the authority to make, enact, and change laws. The president, before he can do much, he has to seek the approval of Congress first before he can make any, I guess, set forth any bills that he have that he thinks are important. And just the whole, you know, legislative process requires that both houses come together. They both work on individual versions of a bill. They go argue it down. They work out the nuances and they put it in paper form. And if once both houses have agreed, you know, they submit it to the president for his approval. That did not go into detail, but it's pretty much a rough overview of how it works. And the president can either sign it or veto it. I believe Obama took the right, you know, position when he came into office. He didn't try to come in and take over and try to say, okay, we're going to legislate this, we're going to legislate that. That is not his job. Yes, he is the spokesperson for America, and yes, he holds the burden of the responsibility for when things go wrong. However, he does not have sole power. We are not in a dictatorship. So I don't like it when people blame him solely for the downfalls or the setbacks that America has had. He definitely wanted both houses of Congress to come together. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having both members of both the House and the Senate sit down and come together to make a solution that is beneficial to America? What's wrong with that? I don't think he was wrong for doing that. He stepped back and tried to see if they would work out their differences, if they can come up with a solution. Now, mind you, let me remind some people, I think they forgot, they want to blame it on Democrats or the House or whatever. I don't care. Whenever there was a proposal, especially dealing with health care, and I will only touch on this a little bit because I don't want to get a slew of emails talking about health care. But this is a prime example because this is what we're going through right now. When the Senate refused to approve the House bill, the House made numerous changes. Now, Senator Reid said that he would not approve it if the public option was up there. They decided to throw out the public option, and then he still wouldn't approve it. What is that? Okay? There are other changes that they made that I cannot think of, but I know they've revised their bill over and over to help pretty much bridge the gap to bring both houses, both sides of Congress together. So the House and the Democrats have worked very hard to try to unify their plan to match that of the Senate. The Senate has been stubborn and unwavering. There's no other way to say it. I'm going to put it out there. They have been stubborn and unwavering in all of their decisions. Each and every time they try to, accommodate some of those interests and accommodate some of the changes that the Senate said, they will not agree if they were implemented, and they took it out and they still did not agree to it. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Don't call me no socialist or a communist. You need to check yourself. Because honestly, if you wanted my honest opinion, I will tell you that I would rather be in Europe, because at least they got health care. Fuck it. I'd rather be in Canada. They have health care. It might not be adequate health care, but the fact is they have a choice. And if the public option, if it brings down the health care insurance premiums for most Americans, or provide healthcare where people are lacking, because I do not have adequate healthcare right now. My insurance was dropped when I turned 22, so I went 6 months without having healthcare, and I had some health problems during that time too. I had to go to the emergency room for something. Guess what? I had to pay all that back out of my pocket, an enormous bill. Okay, my mom had a stroke over Thanksgiving break. I alluded to it earlier in another video saying that my mother got ill. She had a stroke. Scared the hell out of me. Okay? Thank God she does have health care through her job, but what if she didn't? Like, what if she didn't? What if she, got laid off like some Americans, and thus their health care was exterminated too? What would have happened then? So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. And, my opinions are my opinions, but, I am willing to listen to others. Okay? The democracy that we live in is not perfect. Every political ideology, whether it's communism, socialism, or democracy, all have limitations. They all have weaknesses. Nothing is foul-proof. You're not going to satisfy everyone. Everyone may not even have their voice heard. Even in a democracy, there are people that are still silent. Nobody's talking about the poor. We talk about the middle class a lot. We talk about big business. But we still have a problem with homelessness and poverty. Okay? I'm not going into those issues, though. That's going to take me down a different road. I need to go and plug up my computer because it's going to die, but I'll be back in a second. Yes, I will definitely work on fixing the editing feature on my computer so I can do those things and not disturb the video. But yes, the point being, I don't see why calling me a communist and calling me delusional and calling me all these other names is going to help pretty much exchange ideas with me and help to understand why I believe what I believe and why you believe what you believe. That's the totally wrong way of going about it. Now, if you want me to hear you out, I am open to hearing you out. But you're not going to insult me too, because I don't have to listen or read your comments. I decided that I was not going to delete them because you are entitled to your opinion. But if you do send me more comments talking about attacking me personally, I don't have to tolerate that. I do not have to tolerate that. Like I said, it made me very angry to see that because we have differences, and this is pretty much the problem that we have in society. We have differences, but it is okay to disagree. It's okay to agree to disagree on certain things. We may not always come together on everything, but the diversity of views and ideas and values, that's what we value here in this country. Okay? Not the suppression of speech, not insulting someone either, but exchange of ideas. Okay? So don't blame Obama for everything. Blame both houses of Congress. Obama does share the responsibility too. But don't blame him solely for everything, because he will, like he said, utilize his power to veto and issue executive orders. Okay? Some of the decisions that he made probably were not the best, but come on. This is his first year. He has 3 more years to get it right. Okay? No president came in knowing how to be a president. It's sort of like trial and error. Okay? That's all I have to say.